Okay, so just in the Facebook groups that I've been kind of floating in and out of for the last little bit, I've kind of seen two reoccurring questions that I feel like I should at least give my point of view on, answer wise. And they are, is it going to be busy? And will I be able to get things, like everything done in one night? And for the first question, absolutely. It's going to be crazy busy. For a few reasons. I mean, one, I feel like is the most obvious right now. If you look at the theme parks right now, they're packed. It's crazy because folks just want to get out and do stuff after the year and a half of not being able to do that. So, you gotta kind of anticipate the crowds are gonna be heavy with people coming through and attending the event. The second part is it is an anniversary year, and not to, talk bad about years that might not be anniversary years, but the parks go all in on these years. I mean, there's entire podcasts that have been started from folks who went to 25, and it got them hooked in the event. So it's gonna be crazy. So yes, it will be busy. And just, I guess, for that second question, will you be able to get stuff done in one night? No, absolutely not. Not if, not unless you throw down for an express pass, but we'll talk about that in a second. But again, it's going to be ridiculously busy this year, in my opinion. Just as like a reference for how I feel, like why I feel like that. Opening weekend was originally supposed to be from 6 to 1, or 6:30 to 1, I'm sorry, but they are anticipating such crazy crowds that they actually extended the hours to 2, so an extra hour for Saturday and Sunday opening weekend. It's gonna be crazy. So hopefully with this list of stuff that I've kind of come up with, you'll be able to at least get as much as you can out of this event. So first up on my list of things for you to consider, it's even before you get to the park. This is gonna kind of seem like a no-brainer, but plan out when you want to attend the event. I'll actually throw up the hours right now. So as you saw, outside of opening weekends, for the month of September, it's going to be 6:30 to 1, and then throughout October, 6:30 to 2. So, you have consistent hours to kind of work with and plan your trip accordingly. Obviously, when you plan to go, tickets will vary in price. Obviously, during the week, it'll be a little bit cheaper. I believe it's around 70. And, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be busier and more expensive. So, keep that in mind as you plan. Obviously, everyone's got their own things going on, and going in the middle of the week isn't really an option. I know for me personally, it's not. I'll probably mostly be going Fridays this year, but just something to keep in mind while you're planning. Something else, actually, I don't have this in my notes, I actually just saw this while I was looking on their website. Universal's running this promotion where for, I believe it was $30, you can gain entrance to the park before Halloween Horror Nights starts, to participate in Stay and Scream. And if you don't know what that is, Stay and Scream is regular day guests who also have a ticket for Halloween Horror Nights. So just to to make that very clear. You have to have a ticket for the day event and Halloween Horror Nights, because they're separately ticketed deals. You can participate in what's called Stay and Scream, where you can stay in one of 4 areas throughout the park. When they shut down the park for day guests, clear them out and make the switch over to the Halloween Horror Nights, just like the setup and everything. So, like, I believe it was for the $30, you can go into the park at 3 and hang out, and then when they start scooting everyone else out for the switchover, you can stay and participate in the Stay and Scream, as long as you also have your ticket to Halloween Horror Nights. Honestly, I feel like that's an absolute steal, because I'm not gonna get a day ticket to go to the park, be there all day, and then stay at the park all night. It just, maybe because I'm old, but it sounds exhausting. And I don't have an annual pass, so I'm not really able to, you know, just show up before 5 and get into the park and hang out until they do the switchover. So for $30, it's a great steal. I'll throw up the locations right now so you can see them on the map. So, as you saw, the locations are Finnegan's in the New York area, I believe the Hello Kitty area in the front of the park, Diagon Alley, Harry Potter, whatever, and the Simpsons area. So each one, when the event starts at like 6:30, they let you out and you're already in the park. You're not having to like kind of go through those crazy lines to get in, and most of them let out pretty close to two houses each. So you could realistically, before the majority of people even start getting into the park, you could be done with two to 3 houses like that, without, you know, any crazy line. So I think that's a great value that should be taken into consideration when you're planning your trip. Another thing, I guess I'm kind of going backwards here a little bit, but to consider for your trip to the theme park, if you're coming from out of town, realistically you probably won't want to drive anywhere when you leave the event. Luckily, in the last few years, Universal has kind of made some resorts that are a little more friendly in price, and the major benefit of staying at any of those hotels is they have shuttles that will take you from the resort to the park and back at the end of the night. And there's a couple benefits to that. One, you're not gonna have to pay for parking, and that's like $20 right there that you're saving yourself. You're not gonna have to deal with driving all like through that traffic and then having to get out of that traffic at the end of the night. So the convenience is there. And if you're planning to drink, I mean, I really shouldn't have to say it, but you know, drinking and driving is stupid, so just don't do that. Even if you're not staying at one of those hotels and you plan on drinking, take an Uber, take a cab, walk. Do not drink and drive, because if you do, you're a moron. That, I'm not even gonna like word that more politely, it's just a fact. You're dumb. So, you know, with all of those resources available to you, take advantage and save yourself a little stress and a little bit of money. I guess the next thing to keep in mind before you even go to the park is maybe have a little something to eat before you go, just because, I mean, it is a theme park, so food is going to be theme park price. I think the last time I was there, a slice of pizza was like $10. So, you know, it's a little rough on the wallet, but you know, if you have a little something to eat beforehand, you can just have, you know, I mean, you can have the potato on a stick or the pizza fries, but not be depending on that as a meal. So, you know, I mean, make your own judgment there. Another thing is if you are planning to drink pre-game, because again, I think like a beer is also $10. So, you know, I mean, I like to have something to sip on throughout the night, but I'm also not trying to spend $40 on 4 beers, whatever they might be. So, you know, if you're looking to, you know, at least have a little kind of a buzz going pre-game before, just another quick note, don't get sloppy drunk, because you're embarrassing if you are. No one wants to be around you, and you ruin the event for everyone else. So drink responsibly, know your limits, and yeah. And my final little note, for even before you go to the park, kind of account for maybe bringing yourself a little extra money, just because if you're like me, you want to get something to commemorate going to the event. Like, I like to get the shirt, and the shirts are like $30 for like just a basic t-shirt. So usually I bring myself about $50, because I'll usually get the shirt and I'll get the event drink. And typically I'm not like super big on like sugary sweet drinks, but you get the drink for $15, and you get it in the Blinky cup that you might see a lot of people walking around with. And I mean, it's a small little souvenir. And then to fill that cup back up, if you want more, I think it's like $9. So you're kind of getting a little bit of a discount there too. So if that's something you're into, keep it in mind. It's a fun, harmless little souvenir, and you're, you know, drinking, and you're kind of saving yourself a little bit of money there too. But moving on to kind of just like planning to actually go, some of the things I've done in the past is you can have the Universal app downloaded on your phone, and if you're not planning to go for a few weeks after the event starts, you can go onto the app each night and kind of monitor what's the average wait time for houses that you might be interested in going into. And personally, I find that helpful, just because then you can kind of coordinate with your friends or whoever you're going with to kind of figure out, okay, well, you know, I want to go into Beetlejuice, and my friends want to go into Haunting of Hill House, and each one is like a 2-hour wait. And if you're going in September, you have 6.5 hours in the park, so 4 hours waiting for 2 houses, leaving yourself with 2.5 hours. You can maybe get in another house or 2. So I hate to like assign you homework, but it's just something to, you know, kind of consider if you're not willing to throw down for an express pass. Because personally, I can't recommend getting express pass enough. It's a steep buy, because it's almost like $100 more on top of, you know, on the low end, $70 for a ticket. But you're realistically, with the express pass, going to, if not all of the houses, be able to get into most of the houses and still be able to take in the scare zones and potentially enjoy the shows that are running as well. It's just something to consider. It is a steep investment, but it's definitely worth the price. Something else to keep in mind if you aren't planning to throw down for that like early access stay and scream type deal, you don't have an annual pass to do that either, you just want to just go to the park, I have 2 recommendations just to kind of ease, you know, the stress of getting into the park. Either get to Universal property early, like again, the event starts at 6:30, so maybe get to the parks around like 4 and just hang out in City Walk, you know, maybe get something to drink or just, you know, walk around for a little bit, but kind of start getting yourself a place in line before the crowds really start showing up to kind of get ready for the night. It's kind of hard to do that sometimes, again, like, you know, if you have a group going and you have to plan and coordinate and everything, it's not always easy to get there early. And if it's something you can't do, then my next recommendation is to get there fashionably late. And that's, I'm not saying like get there at, you know, 8 o'clock, but maybe if you get there like a little later than when it starts, just because you'll be able to kind of get less of the crowds leaving the park from the day and have a little bit less of a wait time to get into Halloween Horror Nights. Obviously, the downside of that is the later you go to the park, the less time you'll actually have in the park. So, you know, they each have their pros and cons, but just something to kind of ease yourself into getting into the park and, you know, minimize time spent in line. But after you've kind of figured out, you know, when you want to get into the park and stuff like that, I feel like the next obvious thing is just to, you know, have a game plan. If you're going alone, which I will be doing, you know, you can kind of just do whatever you want. You know, you don't have to kind of keep an account of everyone in your group wanting to see a particular scare zone or a show or a house or anything like that. But, you know, if you've got a group going, it's good to have a game plan. Like, obviously when the event starts, the event map, like the official one, not the one I showed earlier because it's not official, but I'm pretty sure it's close, will be out, so you can kind of see where everything in the park will be, and you can kind of make yourself a little, you know, path that you want to follow. And of course, you know, if you're following my other piece of advice and kind of taking into account the wait times and everything, you can kind of, you know, have a game plan set where you can maximize what everyone wants to do, and, you know, ideally no one's left hanging, you know, feeling, you know, like they kind of went to the event and didn't get to do what they wanted to do. But as long as you have a game plan, you should be good no matter what, regardless of investing in an express pass or the stay and scream, or if you're just going, you know, regular ticket. You know, just go and have fun, because that's what it's all about. Just a small thing, it's not really gonna like save you money or anything like how I said this video might, but you know, just kind of don't rush through the event. I mean, every year that I've gone up to this year, this will be the first year where I'll actually be able to go multiple times. I had to kind of rush through the event. It was get from this house to that house to that house, and I didn't really get to take in, you know, the facades and the scare zones and the shows and stuff. So if it is a realistic option, try to go multiple times. Frequent fear passes are out, and I mean, for some of them the price is very reasonable. I mean, I'm gonna get the one where you can go, I believe, every Friday, and I think it's like after you've gone twice, it pretty much pays for itself. So if that is a realistic option on the table for you, definitely do that, and just try to go and enjoy it as much as you can. It's going to be an exciting year. Again, I think it's going to potentially be one of the best years, period. Not just because, you know, it's post the, you know, parks being shut down and after a year of not having it. All of the houses announced look great. All of the scare zones look awesome. The shows look fun. So at the end of the day, regardless if you follow any of these dumb tips or you just go and wing it, it's a fun time. So I guess that's like the main thing to take away from this. Just go and have fun. I guess I'll wrap it up here. Another quick thing, if you stuck around to the end, I will be getting stickers made, ideally before the event starts. I'll try to throw up some like ideas on Twitter, again, trickiest D, if you are interested in following me there. They're not for sale. It literally, if you see me anywhere at the parks, in the wild, wherever, and you want a sticker, just be like, hey man, can I get a sticker or two? And I will absolutely give them to you. So I guess I'm gonna just kind of wrap it up there. I had a whole script freaking planned out and I barely followed it, but I hope that, you know, these ideas at least help one person. If it helped one person, then I'm happy. So, you know, like always, you know, be excellent to each other. I appreciate you guys a ton. Take it easy.